This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
A teen faces a possible 27-month sentence for her role in the stabbing at the Halifax shopping centre.
New boundaries, how demographics have redrawn the federal electoral map in Nova Scotia.
And a week after Halifax's two bridges go toll-free, we check in.
Wet snow for Wednesday night into Thursday morning, making for a snowy, slushy, and slick commute. Your full forecast is coming up.
Nearly a year after Ahmad Al-Muraq was stabbed in a parking garage at the Halifax shopping centre, one of the four teens implicated in his death is facing sentencing in Nova Scotia Youth Court.
Her identity is protected by a publication ban under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Lawyers are recommending the girl be sentenced to 27 months for manslaughter. Blair Rhodes reports.
The girl is the first of the four accused in the attack on Ahmad Al-Muraq to reach this stage in the court process. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter for her part in the attack rather than go through a trial. Her lawyer stressed that she did not stab Al-Muraq, but she did take part in the violent assault. The 27-month sentence is a joint recommendation by Crown and Defense. It's what's known as an IRCA sentence, an acronym for Intensive Rehabilitative Custody and Supervision Order. It calls for 3 more months in the Waterville Youth Detention Facility, followed by 2 years close supervision in the community. The Crown told court that some might look on this as a soft sentence, but under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, it's actually rather severe. He says the 3 months in custody on top of the year she's already spent behind bars is to make sure she's stabilized so that the rehabilitative part of the sentence has a better chance of success. While in the community, she'll be subject to a curfew and must wear an electronic monitoring bracelet. When given a chance to address the court, the girl read softly from a prepared text. "I'm sorry for everything that I've done," her statement read in part. "I wish I could reverse time." She went on to say, "Nothing I say will change things." And she added, "I would have changed everything by staying home." Judge Mark Harima says he needs time to consider all the material the lawyers submitted with their joint sentencing recommendation. He'll deliver his decision next week. Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Police in Halifax are asking for the public's help as they continue to investigate the killing of a young man 3 years ago. Today marks the 3rd anniversary of the death of 20-year-old Kizandre Smith. Police say they responded to reports of shots fired along Hollis Street in the early morning hours of March 26, 2022. Officers later found Smith, who was wounded by gunfire. He was taken to hospital where he later died. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact police.
Halifax Regional Police are investigating after a fake explosive device was found in the city's downtown this morning. Police responded just before 10 a.m. to a call about a suspicious package in Grand Parade. The area around Barrington Street was closed off for a little over an hour. Police say the package was made to look like an explosive device, but did not pose a threat to the public. Most federal ridings in Nova Scotia have changed since the last election. Because of a population boom in recent years, votes had to be redistributed across the province. That means some candidates are running in untested seats, and voters will need to do their homework. Taryn Grant explains.
Lena Metledge-Diab is running for the same seat she won in the last federal election. Or is she? A population boom has shaken up Nova Scotia's political map. Her riding still has the same name, but the boundaries have shifted.
Well, it's not insignificant, that's for sure.
The federal electoral map used to look like this. An independent commission says these new boundaries provide better representation. The changes began with this riding. Remember, this is how it used to look. Then it had an influx of 25,000 people. In recent years, people have flocked to the Halifax area from other parts of Canada and especially around the world. The commission shifted the boundaries of Halifax West away from the dense suburbs toward the outskirts of the municipality. No matter where she goes, Metledge-Diab says she's hearing one prominent concern from voters.
They want a strong government, one that is willing to stand up for Canada.
Rob Batherson is hoping to take the seat for the Conservatives.
People in Halifax West are telling me they want change. They're telling me they want lower taxes. They want a break. And so I'm running to give them that choice for change.
Batherson is a longtime Tory insider. He recently served as the president of the Conservative Party of Canada. Ray Tench is holding the banner for the NDP. The retired financial planner is trying out politics for the first time.
The straw that broke the camel's back for me was looking around and seeing the homeless. There's a lot of people out of homes, and it doesn't seem like anyone's being taking it seriously.
Redrawing Halifax West created a domino effect across the province. 10 out of 11 ridings have new boundaries, and some have new names. Voters can find out which riding they're in by visiting the Elections Canada website. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
And Ryan Snoddon with us now to talk weather.
And Ryan, it sounds like snow's on the way.
Yeah, that's right. And we're all going to get a taste, but especially eastern areas of Nova Scotia, the eastern mainland and Cape Breton, in fact, under a snowfall warning from Environment Canada. And yeah, this is where we have our best chances of getting up towards 15 centimeters of snow. That's the warning that's in place. And this is the map. And you can see these are the areas in white. 5 to as much as 10 centimeters of snow, including the Halifax area and up towards Truro. And then these areas in blue, this is where we creep up into that 10 to 15 centimeter range and could even see in some higher terrain areas some amounts exceeding 15 centimeters. This is going to be a wet, slushy snow though, however, so I'm expecting it to pack down pretty quickly. And I think the big story as we move into Thursday morning is going to be the slick and slushiness of it all for the commute. And you can see amounts taper off towards the west. It all begins tonight with this messier mix, and note temperatures, again, right around the freezing mark, in some cases above freezing all night long. And so that's why it is going to be likely slushy and slick as we hit the roads on Thursday morning. This then tapers off to some showers and flurries into the afternoon, temperatures into the mid-single digits. So the melt will be on. More systems to watch in the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that coming up.
All right. Busy times.
Thanks
so
Ryan.
much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a little more than a week since tolls were removed on Halifax's 2 bridges, but some people still have questions about the timing and the efficacy of the move. Andrew Sampson reports.
For 70 years, there have been tolls on Halifax Harbour bridges. In 2024, they brought in about $36 million in revenue, money that helped contribute to the upkeep of the McKay and McDonald Bridge. But now, after Premier Tim Houston fulfilled an election promise to remove them, the tolls are gone. Some are pleased with the decision.
You know, going to work 4 weeks out of the month, I'm going to literally save $60 every month not having to pay the tolls.
But not everyone understands why it's happening now.
I don't know who was asking for this. I don't think it was top of mind for most people in terms of affordability.
The Premier has positioned the move as a win-win, saving drivers money and speeding up their commute. But experts question the latter point, and if foregoing revenue on the bridges was the best decision.
We're not building public housing to the extent that we should be. There aren't enough rent subsidies for people who need those right now. We don't have strong enough rules around eviction. You know, all of that would actually make a much bigger difference than the tolls.
In Cape Breton, the interim Liberal leader says his constituents aren't happy about footing the bill.
We never supported the removal of the tolls. We never heard from any people supportive of removing the tolls.
Transit advocates, meanwhile, worry that removing the tolls sends the wrong message.
It seems counterintuitive to a lot of efforts going forward to deprioritize movement by cars and instead favor other options like walking, cycling, buses. It felt a little backwards.
Wetmore believes the province should be prioritizing making the HRM's rapid transit strategy a reality instead. That includes 4 new bus lines with less frequent stops and 3 new ferry routes.
If we continue stalling on it, by the time we actually roll around to implementing it, it's already going to be outdated for our population growth.
The toll removal is the latest effort by the PCs to get rid of fees on our roads. Back in 2021, they removed tolls for Nova Scotians on Highway 104's Cobequid Pass. It's too early to tell what the long-term impact of the bridge toll removal will be. But one thing is for sure, tolls or no tolls, the McKay Bridge will need to be replaced by 2040. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, Halifax.
Halifax residents will see their property taxes go up by 4.7% for the upcoming year, but the spike is lower than it could have been. Councillors finalized budget items Wednesday afternoon after hours of debate that began last week. The tax rate itself, will stay flat, but rising property assessments mean bills will still go up. That means an extra $117 a year for the average homeowner. Council was looking at a larger tax hike, but were able to avoid it by using reserve funds and making cuts to other areas of the budget. Most of these were suggested by Mayor Andy Fillmore, who campaigned on not increasing the rate.
This is not business as usual, colleagues. We are not living in normal times, and this is not a regular budget cycle. We need to get out of regular mode and make changes that will get our financial sustainability on track. People are anxious. Many households and businesses are just hanging on.
The 2025-26 budget will be passed next month.
People traveling out of Sydney will now have more options for connecting flights in North America. Pascan Aviation has partnered with Porter Airlines to sell seats on each other's flights, allowing passengers to book under one airline. Porter Pascan connections can currently be made through Halifax and Quebec City, with more than 90 connecting routes available.
The price certainly does meet the level of service that you're going to receive. We are in Cape Breton. We are quite far from some of these places. There were no real surprises. I did look at a few of the routes. It just went live a few minutes ago. I did look at a few of the routes, and they were pretty cost efficient.
Pascan Aviation has been running a Sydney to Halifax flight since October. The new partnership will offer year-round connections on cross-continental routes.
The East Coast Music Association is responding to recent criticisms from some in the industry with a plan for change. Several musicians are publicly boycotting the upcoming awards show in St. John's after the nonprofit fired its newly appointed CEO.
On Tuesday, the association sent its members a 6-point action plan, calling it the start of a commitment to positive structural change. As the CBC's Maddie Ryan tells us, some local artists are weighing in on how the controversy surrounding the ECMAs has impacted them.
It's been 10 years since St. John's last hosted the ECMAs. Normally a chance to see the East Coast top musical talent, but not this year. That's because some of the biggest names, like Jeremy Dutcher, are boycotting the event. A move sparked by the firing of the East Coast Music Association's last CEO, Blanche Israel, in January. That led to artists and industry professionals calling for transparency about that decision and the direction of the arts organization going forward. Some people are even calling for a complete boycott of the awards show in May. All this leaving some artists in Newfoundland and Labrador feeling caught in the middle.
I respect that there are artists that are boycotting. I respect their reasons and that they want to, make a statement. But I don't think there should be pressure on artists to take a hit for what's going on.
Mick Michael's latest album saw critical acclaim, but she says a complicated application process prevented touring artists like her from getting a nomination.
I find it really frustrating to be judged on my music through writing essay questions.
Mick Michael says there are geographical and financial barriers being an artist on an island.
I really had hoped that this would be a great year to celebrate at home and include my band and not go way out of pocket for it like I did in 2022.
The East Coast Music Association came out with a new action plan Tuesday to address growing concerns, but they didn't want to do an interview about it. For some members in the music community, promises to foster diversity, for example, are not enough.
I feel like there are deeper issues at play, and they should be more aware and be more informed about these things. The East Coast music scene, the landscape is changing, it's shifting, right? It's not just the violin, guitars anymore. There's so many different music genres, and people work hard to contribute to East Coast music.
Shaw was an education outreach coordinator for the association last year, but now the drama is too much.
I just feel the whole thing is a little bit unbelievable to me.
The East Coast Music Awards are set to take over the city's music scene early in May, with a big awards gala happening here at the Mary Brown Centre on May 8th. Maddie Ryan, CBC News, St. John's.
Lovely waterfall in Victoria Park. Ryan is up next.
Welcome back. When governments are re-elected, the second terms are historically tougher than the first.
There are some key factors that will shape how the next 4 years will go for Tim Houston's Tory supermajority. John LaRoche and Michael Gorman are together once again to explain.
Jean, as this winter session wraps up down here at Province House, the longest of Tim Houston's tenure as Premier, I don't think too many of his caucus members are going to feel like it's been totally smooth sailing. But the reality for the government is that even after they get out of here, they're facing a lot of challenges in the second mandate.
Right. Historically, and speaking as the old guy in this relationship, second terms are always tougher. Whatever honeymoon period a government would have in their first term, that's evaporated. They now have to defend their record as opposed to criticize the previous government's record. So what we're going to see Tim Houston try to do over the next 3 to 4 years is kind of solidify and meet a whole bunch of other promises he made in this last election.
Perhaps chief amongst the challenges that the government faces immediately is the trade war with the United States and whatever lasting and also immediate effects that tariffs are going to have on the province's economy. But even if Trump weren't an issue for this province, it's facing a major revenue challenge in the sense that the population boom we've experienced that's allowed this government to spend $1 billion a year outside its own budget has gone away. The boom has gone bust. The population growth in the province has plateaued, and that's going to mean the government will need to sharpen its pencil.
Absolutely, and they've made some big ticket promises. They've lowered the tax rate, both personal and the business tax rate. They've taken the tolls off the Halifax bridges. So they're going to deal with even less revenue because of the promises they've made in this election, and then dealing with those other challenges that you've talked about.
I don't think that we can count on anything in the next couple of years. I certainly don't think that it's going to be possible for provincial governments to kind of count on some windfall, count on something coming in that maybe we didn't see. Like, it doesn't seem like that's the way the wind is blowing.
And on top of that, what you have is a government heading into a second term with a lot less goodwill from the public. And we saw a demonstration outside Province House during this session, one of the bigger ones this government has faced. And there's a lot more riding on this second term and what the government will be able to do.
Now, one of the other big challenges, and you mentioned how in this second term the government has to start accounting for its record, is the promise that will hang over Tim Houston's political career, and that's the promise to fix healthcare. As this second mandate progresses, the public is going to start wondering, how is it going? Do I feel like things are getting better? The government is going to have to account for its progress. It has finally signed a deal to get the Halifax infirmary development going, but that comes with a massive price tag, $7 billion. It's absolutely infrastructure we need, but it will add to those fiscal challenges that the government is going to have to try to navigate during this mandate.
And talk about navigating, you're going to have to navigate without this guy. As you know, I am retiring at the end of the month, so you're going to have to kind of run with the ball and cover this government the way we have been for the past 3 years. It's been a real pleasure, Mike, to share this space with you and with Nova Scotians. I hope this has been in some way helpful for you to understand kind of the background, some of the things that are happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. Here, take our picture. Okay.
1 second.
Big suck in. On 3.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're gonna miss him around here.
Anybody else getting a little emotional over that? The end of an era,
John
for sure.
LaRoche, long time coming for sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that, guys. Let's talk weather now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some snow in the way.
On a personal note, I'm going to miss Jean walking by my desk saying, "When's the snow coming?"
Oh, yes,
you can tell him
avid skier.
tonight.
He loves skiing, and
Yes.
there's nobody that heckles me more wanting snow than Jean Laroche. So I'm going to miss those desk chats for sure.
So he's going to get some, but not for long, right?
Yeah, that's right. Ski hill season winding down here, obviously. But we are looking at a little shot here as we take a step back. As we all know, with the spring, it ebbs and flows. Have a look at our fog patches here, which are along the along the Atlantic coastline, rather. This is, of course, Peggy's Cove, and a live shot there. And you can see, fog kind of lurking along the coast. This is kind of a tell of what it's going to be through the early part of this event is some fog, some showers, some drizzle along parts of the coast. We will eventually change over to some snow, but it's going to take some time. Look at how mild temperatures are even at this hour. We're still 8 degrees in Truro, 9 in Antigonish, 2 in through the Halifax area along the Atlantic coastline. It's a bit cooler, but that's actually where it'll take longest to really drop to the freezing mark. Those winds are light right now, and as we look forward, we're going to be talking about this precipitation kind of mixing over to some snow. And you can see on the leading edge right now, it's indeed just showers, and those temperatures are quite mild. The wind's going to become northeasterly. That will help to draw in some of that cooler air, and then we will change right over to some snow as the system tracks to our south and east. Just a quick look as we move further west. This is the front that we're going to be watching for Friday. That will bring some showers and some much cooler air spilling into the province for Saturday. We're going to be looking at highs near the freezing mark on Saturday, which will be our coolest day of the next 7 as that air mass does sweep through. Across the rest of North America, obviously still warming up quite nicely across the U.S. South right now, and looking very spring-like in many places. For tonight, again, temperatures near the freezing mark, and not even really, in some cases, dipping below the freezing mark. We'll likely see lows of near 1, especially here back towards the west, but even coastal areas in the east. And that will kind of set the stage for what I think is going to be a quite variable snowfall, depending on your proximity to the coastline, depending on your elevation. Higher terrain areas will accumulate more than low-lying areas will. And here's how things are going to play out overnight. You can see that snow tracking in and eventually changing over to snow. By the time we get to Thursday at 7 a.m., this is when I'm expecting it is going to be kind of the nastiest in terms of driving, because we'll have had all the snow overnight. It'll still be snowing. And so, the north, the east, back towards western or eastern areas of the valley, the metro area, this is all going to be slushy or snowy. And it's going to be slow going. So slick. Take your time. We'll change over to some showers as we move into the late morning and early afternoon. Temperatures bumping up, and we'll see some lingering showers even into the afternoon, and the potential for a few sunny breaks for western areas. There's the snowfall outlook in case you missed it earlier. We are talking about 5 to as much as 10 centimeters. Halifax up towards Truro, that 102 corridor, even back towards the 101, possibility near 5 centimeters there, though amounts will start to taper off, especially down towards the South Shore in the 103, that 104 corridor. This is where we're looking at our best chance of 10 to as much as 15 centimeters of snow. And we could even see some pockets that do exceed 15 over higher terrain areas. Cape Breton Highlands also included in that. And that is where, again, we are looking at a snowfall warning in effect from Environment Canada. 2 to 5, even 6 degrees into the afternoon. So temperatures will get milder as we roll into the afternoon, and we see that change over to some showers with those light winds. We'll see, again, some sunny breaks in through the western parts of the province. This is as the system departs, we'll see this next round moving in for Friday afternoon with some showers, maybe a flake into the evening as temperatures will drop, but it will be mild ahead of the front on Friday. Now, quick note on Saturday. System passing to the south looks like it may bring some very light snow to the southwest corner of the province on Saturday and then clearing into the afternoon. So we're keeping an eye on that. But again, that looks limited to the southwest. Sunday night into Monday. Tom and Amy, that's the next system. Snow, ice pellets, freezing rain. Looks like Sunday night is going to be pretty, gnarly with a little bit of everything, and then a change over to rain as we move into Monday. So that'll be the next big one.
Right.
And the end of March.
Yeah,
yes,
we'll be ready for it. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Coming up, Craft Hockeyville. The Sackville Community Arena makes the shortlist for a $250,000 prize.
Kraft Hockeyville has unveiled this year's finalists, and Sackville Community Arena is on the list. The grand prize is $250,000 in upgrades. And I'm here with Chris Fraser and Rob Nurnberg with the Sackville Minor Hockey Association. I guess, first of all, what was the community reaction when you found out you made the shortlist?
They were floored, to say the least. They were, it was unbelievable. We were overwhelmed, I think, with emotion that we were to be considered, and it's been quite a journey.
Well, Rob, talk to me about the journey to get here.
Sure. So really our journey started, I actually want to say probably 5 years ago, actually. At that time, an individual in our community named Jamie Monroe had put a bid forward for Kraft Hockeyville in our community. And at that time, during that process, Time Valley and Prince Edward Island, their arena burnt to the ground. And rightfully so. Jamie and as a community, we pulled our nomination for Kraft Hockeyville, and we put all of our support behind Time Valley. And I really think that speaks to the spirit in our community and how much we actually, love communities that we love, so much, and the cause here that we put our own support behind another community. So fast forward 2 years ago, I put a call out to our membership that I would be creating a Kraft Hockeyville committee. And then roughly about a year ago, we started to put that together. A call went out for expressions of interest to be on that committee. And then Chris was the first one to jump up to be part of it, of course, as well, along with some others. And we've really been so grateful for all of the support. And we've really come together. And there's so much that's gone on behind the scenes to get to where we are today. But it's been truly amazing, and it's been absolutely wonderful. So that's kind of the backstory behind it.
Well, what does this place mean to the people in this community?
That question... So in 1973, this arena was built by the community. To this community, this arena is the hub of all of Sackville, for not just hockey, for everybody. During this process, we've reached out to all the demographics, all the generations, and what we've learned is that this arena is really a unicorn. It's a unicorn. It's community owned. It's community built. Our community did it 50 years ago, and we're in a position right now where we need the money so that we can get another 50.
All right. Well, talk to me about what you would do if you got that prize money.
Sure. I mean, we're in desperate need of ice time, obviously, like most communities are across the province, quite frankly. But to Chris's comments as well, like this building is over 50 years old. It opened its doors in 1973. And there's tons of areas within the arena that need to be upgraded and some improvements, and for safety reasons and functionality reasons as well. And it's really important for us as a community, to Chris's point as well, that this is a melting pot for our community. It's really truly the heart of our community. If you took a satellite view of the arena, you would see that it's right in the middle of residential areas here, and it really truly is the heart for our community. And there's so many things that children and our youth get out of the benefit of coming here. And again, obviously hockey is a big part of it, but it's not specific to hockey. There's so many other community groups. As we came in here, you probably noticed there's a sewing group that's here. So it's really truly represents all aspects of our community. But obviously, if we don't maintain and repair it, it's not going to be here for future generations and for years to come. And there's tons of areas throughout the arena that we need to have improvements on. The posts around the boards are rotting on the bottom. They need to be replaced. We need facilities for our female hockey players as well that we need to have improvements on so that they have inclusion. They feel part of everything here at the arena as well. The bleachers have some issues as well that need to be addressed, as well as our boards and the doors on our boards. So it's kind of a little bit of a list of things that need to be improved on, and that's really where we'd be putting the funds if we're successful to help make those improvements a reality.
All right, and online voting starts April 4th?
April 4th.
Tell me what's going to be happening here. Walk me through that.
Well, we're very excited to know that Hot Country 103.5 is going to be here. So they're going to set up shop here in our mezz. They're going to be here for the morning show at 5 a.m. and they're going to broadcast live from our arena for the day. So voting opens at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. And it's unlimited voting. So you can go on, chrisfraser@gmail.com, and you can vote. You can come back out, go back in and vote again. You can do that as many times as you want. So we encourage people to vote as many times as you can. There's going to be a 24-hour voting party here in our mezz. The mezzanine will be open all night, and we encourage people, if you want to come down and do a shift, we would really appreciate it if you could come down. And that's going to be it, just a push to vote.
And when do you find out if you've won?
So we'll find out on Saturday, April the 5th. The voting closes at 6 p.m. Atlantic time. And then later on that evening, during the Hockey Night in Canada program, at the end of the first NHL game that's being broadcast that evening, they'll make the announcement of the winner for Kraft Hockeyville 2025. So, fingers crossed and toes crossed as well that that will be us here, and we'll have more to be appreciative of, no question, and lots of joy up here, and I'm sure.
All right. Well, exciting times ahead. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up, attracting the senior vote. Federal party leaders are pitching their platforms to older Canadians.
And changing Canada's voting system. Is it possible to introduce electoral reform in time for this election? Welcome back. In almost every election, seniors vote in the greatest numbers of any demographic.
As the CBC's Alexander Silberman tells us, federal party leaders are doing their best to woo them this time around.
This will save a working senior up to $1,300.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre pitching tax cuts for seniors at a campaign stop in Montmagny, Quebec.
And I will see to it the system rewards hard work by people of all ages.
The Conservatives outlining their plan to help working seniors, allowing them to earn up to $34,000 tax-free and keep savings in RRSPs until age 73. Poilievre is also pledging to keep retirement at age 65.
No senior should be living in poverty.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh promising to raise the guaranteed income supplement and disability benefit.
You cry now.
His party also promising an increase to the tax-free income amount, up to $19,000.
Some of the poorest and most vulnerable are literally struggling to put food on the table and are living in poverty. It would lift them out of poverty immediately.
With the backdrop of the Ambassador Bridge, Liberal leader Mark Carney focusing today on the Canadian economy. He was in Windsor, Ontario, the country's automotive capital, announcing a promise for a $2 billion strategic response fund to support workers hit by U.S. tariffs.
This is going to go directly to companies to make investments to build Canada strong. And that's the message. So it's not about waiting until the Americans become more reasonable. It's about acting now.
Amid the ongoing trade war, the stress on the economy is continuing to shape this election campaign, with many older Canadians feeling pinched by the cost of living. Affordability will be a big issue as they watch party platforms. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Ottawa.
U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that a 25% tariff will be slapped on all non-American made vehicles, fueling even more instability for one of Canada's biggest industries. It comes after Liberal leader Mark Carney unveiled a multi-billion-dollar proposal to protect Canada's auto industry. The CBC's Ashley Burke was in Windsor for his announcement on day 4 of campaigning.
Liberal leader Mark Carney in Windsor today, where the auto sector has long feared Donald Trump's tariff threats could crush the industry, halt production, and drive up costs for Canadians buying cars. In front of this bridge connecting Canada to the U.S., Carney proposed his government would create a $2 billion fund to give the auto industry a boost and build more car parts in Canada rather than relying on the U.S.
Under our plan, we will build an all-in Canada network for auto manufacturing components. Because on average, an auto part crosses that border, often through that bridge, over that bridge, 6 times before final assembly. And in a trade war, that's a huge vulnerability, tariff as it goes into the United States each time. So what we need to do is build more of those autos and more of each auto right here in Canada.
But a union here in Windsor representing auto workers says while Canada has the technology and the facilities to do this, it would be challenging and costly because of how intertwined the Canada-U.S. supply chain is.
It would be difficult because the companies do have a lot of back and forth. It's efficient to have one plant produce multiple parts for multiple plants, obviously.
Carney is also visiting London and Kitchener today as he makes his pitch in southwestern Ontario to voters and tries to address a big challenge his campaign is facing, differentiating himself from the Trudeau government. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Windsor.
At a campaign stop in southern Ontario, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre took aim at Mark Carney, accusing the Liberal leader of hiding his assets in tax havens.
He thinks that taxes are just for the little people, not for big shot bankers like him. This is exactly the wrong kind of experience we need in a prime minister, and the worst kinds of conflicts of interest.
Poilievre has mentioned Brookfield several times on the campaign trail. Carney was an executive at the asset management company. 2 funds that he co-chaired were registered in Bermuda, but it's not clear whether those funds included any of Carney's personal assets. Carney has called Poilievre a, quote, conspiracy theorist. He says the funds were registered in Bermuda to avoid double taxation.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has outlined his plan for taxes if the party forms government. Speaking in Hamilton, he promised to eliminate the GST on some essential items if elected, and said he would raise the basic personal exemption on income tax for low and middle income earners.
Our plan helps middle-class folks the most, and the difference is that we've noticed from the other plans that are out there, the Liberals and Conservatives, their plan is one that helps millionaires the most.
Singh said the exemption would help Canadians more than tax cuts promised by Liberal leader Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. The NDP is now a distant third in the polls and faces an uphill battle. Recent numbers show some of the lowest levels of support for the party in years.
Justin Trudeau called abandoning electoral reform his biggest regret as Prime Minister. So, is it possible to introduce reform in time for this election? The CBC's Ashley Fraser looks into that for us.
Is it possible for Canada's voting system to change in time for this federal election?
No, it isn't. It wouldn't be possible.
So why is that? First, we have to look at the system that's currently in place. A term you've probably heard, first past the post. It's a system Canada's used for over 150 years. In an election, the candidate with more votes than any other candidate wins a given riding, even if they don't have a majority of the votes. The idea of changing the system, or what's called electoral reform, is not new. On one of our recent videos, a lot of you shared that you want a different way of voting in the federal election. The idea was even promised by former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in 2015. And when he stepped down, he called abandoning electoral reform his greatest regret.
I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot.
Trudeau said while running for Liberal Party leader in 2013 that he was in favour of the ranked ballot system, which is how we vote for Canadian political party leaders. The other system that could be used is called proportional representation. It's used by over 90 countries around the world. And like the name suggests, it's the idea that the percentage of votes is proportional to the number of seats in the House of Commons. That can be done in a few different ways. In Ireland, they use proportional representation with a single transferable vote, where voters rank a list of candidates in order of their preference.
If a political party feels that it has a strong showing in a particular constituency, it might run two candidates. I, as a voter, not only have a choice of voting for the party that I prefer, but I can also vote for the candidate within that party that I prefer.
One voter I spoke to says he likes proportional representation because they can lead to coalition governments.
It means that people have to stop playing games and work together to get anything done. We don't need the leader of the Conservative Party or the leader of the New Democratic Party wasting their time and energy criticizing the party in power.
But it can also lead to instability as small parties can have more influence. So back to our original question, why isn't reform achievable for this upcoming election? For one, it's a pretty big change that could take years and could involve a referendum or a citizens' assembly. In New Zealand, they used a referendum on whether to change the system from first past the post in 1992.
They then changed their system, and then they held a referendum on whether to keep it. And that took multiple election cycles to do.
For that to happen, the government in power needs to be on board.
We've had historical examples in the past in Canada of governments changing their voting systems. 3 provincial governments changed their voting systems from first past the post to mixed systems.
Last year, a motion in the House of Commons called on the federal government to establish a citizens' assembly on electoral reform. But that motion failed to pass. We reached out to the main political parties in Canada about their thoughts on electoral reform. The Liberal and Conservative parties did not get back to us by our deadline. The Green Party told us that they strongly believe that the first past the post system should be changed into a proportional voting system where every vote counts. We also spoke to the NDP critic for democratic reform. They specifically support mixed member proportional representation, where someone is voted in locally and regionally to better represent the parties in the House of Commons. So, what are your thoughts about electoral reform? Email us at ask@cbc.ca.
Looming U.S. tariffs have prompted Canadians to rally around the country's oil and gas sector. The CBC's Julia Wong traveled to the geographic heart of the industry, Fort McMurray, to hear from businesses and workers about their priorities for the next government.
So here we have one of the pumps that our clients dropped off.
Oil and gas is the heart and soul of this Fort McMurray heavy equipment repair company. But with the trade war, plans to expand and hire more staff are paused indefinitely.
I've been in McMurray my whole life and I've seen the ups and downs, but this feels different. This feels a lot different and a lot of uncertainty with respects to the tariffs and respects to elections now being called.
An election oil country is watching closely. Corey Coffey wants party leaders to know the stakes are high.
I want to hear how they want to unite Canada. So how do we fit into this national unity, right? what are their plans for increasing the access of our resources to the West Coast and the East Coast.
Alberta sends almost all of its crude oil south of the border.
Pump operators, heavy equipment operators, heavy equipment technicians.
And livelihoods in this community rely on the energy sector. At this job fair, the federal party's plans for Canadian energy are key.
The emissions reduction policies that we look to hear from all the major parties. The second probably being carbon pricing, their strategy for that. And then thirdly, as we talk to the tariffs and our economic development and future trade relations with worldwide.
I'd like to see more pipeline come around.
Tariff threats have splintered this country's relationship with the U.S. People here want more Canadian support and certainty.
I would hope from this election or nationally that our population would understand it's a bit of a turning point in Canada's history, and maybe it's path to prosperity, and understand the importance of oil and gas to our economy and to our prosperity and protecting our sovereignty.
Sovereignty that many see as tied to energy independence, making a ballot box question here: who's best suited to handle this reckoning for Canadian oil and gas? Julia Wong, CBC News, Fort McMurray, Alberta.
Canada's main stock index moved lower today, weighed down by losses in the technology and base metal sectors, while U.S. stocks also fell. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break. Well, we knew the weather this week was going to kind of be a little up and down thanks to this fine gentleman here to my right. But been enjoying the burst of sun for sure.
Yeah, spring is coming and spring's here, even if it does feel like we go back and forth a little bit, right?
It's like, pushing a
boulder? Or?
Yes.
I've heard you call it like the cha-cha, too.
That's right. You got to rock it back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, we're heading in the right direction. More signs of that with our viewer picture of the day. And let's zoom in. This is in the Halifax area. In fact, it is in Dartmouth and Woodside. North Woodside, to be exact.
Nice.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the sun is nice, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg said, if you look closely, there's a little visitor there.
B.
Yeah.
I see him.
So lots of signs of spring. But hopefully that little visitor has somewhere to hunker down for tonight. Snowfall warnings in effect for the eastern mainland and Cape Breton, Pictou, Antigonish, and Guysborough, and of course Cape Breton Island. This is indeed where we're looking at the greatest chance of seeing amounts near 15 centimeters, which is warning criteria. The Halifax area up towards Truro, that central portion of the province, looking set to see 5 to as much as 10 centimeters. This is going to be a real slushy snow, and so it'll pack down and won't accumulate quite as much as these, the fluffier snow events, but it's going to be slick nonetheless, and I think that's really the biggest takeaway. It's drive over it season. Keep those shovels to the minimum, minimal shoveling, because we will see, as things clear into the afternoon, temperatures rising and melting even for Thursday afternoon, and more melting to come, but that doesn't take away that Thursday morning will be slick. The Thursday afternoon commute looks okay, and then we are looking at another mild day Friday with a few more showers mixed with a flurry into the afternoon. Watching that system there brushing to our south and west on Saturday. Just a really, really active pattern, and this all kind of leading towards the Sunday night into Monday storm, which will have snow, ice pellets, freezing rain, changing over to rain into Monday morning. So that's kind of the one where we'll be watching here over the next couple days.
Still have the snow tires on?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Good.
Of course. You?
You sure do.
Yep.
All right, medical history has been made in Australia. A man in his 40s has become the first person to be discharged from hospital with a fully artificial heart, and the first to live with one for more than 100 days.
It's an incredibly novel device and ingenious, really, the way it works. And it works. And so to finally get this device to help some of our sick patients has been, enormously gratifying.
The device was implanted in the man during a 6-hour operation in Sydney in November. He was discharged from hospital in February, and the device pumped blood around his body until he received a human heart transplant earlier this month.
It is the world's first titanium implantable device that can act as a complete replacement for the human heart. The company that developed the device hopes it will ultimately become a permanent solution for heart failure.
Incredible.
Some amazing technology there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. And thank you for watching us. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.